my name is Madison. I am the Associate Student Body President at the high school. I just have a few updates since winter break is coming up and we have about one more week and then finals week, and then we are on break for 2 weeks and then we come back in January. But this is the last day of our Spirit Week. We had a all week Spirit Week. Today is Pajama Day for the students. The students have been having a lot of fun. All of our days were holiday themed. And so the students were super interested in kind of the names of all of the events. We have a winter formal that we're moving into January because it's the most expensive time of the year. Not everyone is super interested in spending extra money on something when they may be more prone to do it at a different time, and there's still some lingering hesitation in regards to school events left over from a previous situation. And so we decided to postpone it until January. And then in January, we would be having our summit starting up again, and then we will be picking up in February. January, we also have a blood drive with the Interact Club, but there aren't very many updates for this month leading into the beginning of next month, since it is the end and start of a new semester. And so that's all I have for today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'd like to welcome everybody to today's December PING meeting. My name is Ms. Prestwood, and I am the Dean of Students, stepping in for Dr. Fowler, who is out today. We have been working as a school on our mission statement, and the current mission statement that we're working off of is the mission of Bonsall High School is to ensure that all students learn at high levels. We prepare our students to be professionally, socially, and emotionally ready for the challenges beyond high school. If you have any concerns about this mission statement, it's still in the works, but for right now, this is the mission statement we're working off of. We are currently in the process of developing a new discipline point system. Everyone was sent an email approximately about a week ago towards the end of Thanksgiving break. And right here it kind of outlines what we're going to be doing. Students earn points, or not earn points, but if they are doing things that are inappropriate at school, we add points for such things as tardy, off task, wandering around school, defiant to teachers. And there are ways that they can offset those points by attending Wednesday school, which they can remove 3 points. Saturday school, they can remove 5 points. And we encourage students to come to those events to not only to get rid of points, but also to get assistance in their learning. Discussed here are some of the things. Unfortunately, if students earn 25 points, at that point we need to discuss with a student that there will be some consequences, such as not being able to attend any events here at the school. Currently, the math department is piloting Envision Math, which is by Pearson. We have currently 3 teachers that are piloting that at the integrated 1, 2, and 3. What we will do is we'll pilot till approximately April, and at that point we decide as a school whether or not we are going to adopt those books for next year. The book is Envision, and we have them viewed here. You can look online. I also encourage parents to do research on their own to make sure that this is research-based and that this is the most appropriate book. Myself and Mr. Sabato spent last spring discussing or looking over 3 other different curriculums, and this is the one that we felt would be most beneficial to our students. We're working currently as a staff on a new grading system. There was a lot of our teachers that recently went to a PLC conference, which is Plan Learn Communities down in San Diego, and many of them attended a part of the conference which discussed homework and how that may be more effective or less effective based on grading. So some ideas, some areas that they came up with is using homework as a summative assessment. Assessments to prove learning should be one-offs, or zeros create hopelessness. Our goal as a staff is we want students to succeed, and we don't want them always to feel that they aren't adequate because of a homework grade. So we're currently, as a staff, working on that, and over the Christmas break, we are going to be discussing that, and then hopefully do some trials on some new systems post the break, and we'll keep you posted in the January PAIN meeting.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So part of the way I know with the project-based learning and transitioning from that is that you would grade based on these different like frameworks, if you will, like so is that going to continue, like the
Oh, you mean like projects, quizzes, that kind of thing?
No,
rubrics.
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 Yeah,
Well, rubric is just a good teaching effective, then we will still stay with rubrics.
Okay.
What we're trying to do is we're actually having discussions about homework not necessarily being the reason that students don't succeed.
Right.
What we're
Pardon
finding
the interruption.
is...
Esteban Diego, please come to the high school office. Esteban Diego, please come to the high school office.
We're just trying to figure out ways that we can assess students' learning.
Right.
And what we're noticing that sometimes if students are missing 20 assignments, then they kind of give up.
Right.
And so what we want to do is throughout the semester is we want to be able for them to prove to us throughout that semester that they are effectively learning a concept in our class.
Right.
And so we're trying to reconfigure that. And then just last night, all of the teachers received a survey, and we're kind of having a discussion on how that can be more beneficial for students.
Yeah.
And the goal is for them to achieve a variety of concepts within the class. And maybe they don't get it the first time, but they might get it throughout the semester. And we're trying to think of more effective ways to analyze that.
Great. What I was referring to is like agency, collaboration.
Yeah. Although we're not using that terminology anymore because that was through the ECHO system and through the project.
I just wasn't sure where
Right.
stood.
Yeah, we are stepping away from that.
Okay.
Currently, most teachers are using like for myself, projects, quizzes, tests, and homework.
Okay.
And then, determining at a percentage based off that.
Okay.
Agency can be determined based on participation,
Right.
and a lot of teachers I know are using that in their grading.
Okay, great.
We are currently, like I said previously, we are piloting a variety of different items. We're this discusses some of those items that we're discussing currently as a staff. We are trying to move away from the 100-point grading scale and into what's called a 4-point scale. As we kind of work with that, we can discuss that more, and there'll be more information coming out to you. Students will be made more familiar with essential standards and learning targets. Part of the PLC, or the Planned Learning Community, is that teachers and departments organize what are called essential standards. And for example, in math, we have 5 essential standards. So there's 5 main concepts that students are supposed to learn within a year. And what we want to do is we want to analyze and determine whether or not those students are achieving or mastering those 5 essential standards.
May I ask?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so at what point are they assessing if the student is understanding the concepts? Because sometimes they won't know until it's the end of the...
Right, and that's what we're trying to address. So, homework, it takes kind of a snapshot at the moment. And what we want to do is, let's say, for example, they don't get it the first time. We want to kind of keep coming back to it, and then at the end of the semester determine whether or not they've achieved that one of those essential standards. And the goal is by the end of the year that, like for example in math, that they've achieved those 5 essential standards. So we're trying to step away from that day-to-day grading and more based off of the essential standards and whether or not they received a 70, 80 or whatever % out of that essential standard.
But if we wait till the end of the semester, they could be already far behind, so by the time they get to the next semester, they're already starting behind if they don't grasp it
right
early on.
I understand, and that's where the intervention piece comes. PLC, or Planned Learning Communities, is really heavy into intervention. And so what we have currently is we have a symposium, and our symposium is a 40-minute period every day, Monday through Friday. And at that time, we try to address some of those concerns that you have. So for example, if your child is, not understanding number 1, essential 1 or 2, what we'll do is address that in the intervention piece. And so we're designing interventions in English, math, biology, language. We have currently one, and so that's where we're trying to address that.
And that's addressed really thoroughly by Dr. Fowler in the last PING meeting, and I think also in the previous one. So if you want to go back and watch those videos, they're on the website. He goes more into depth on how that works.
I understand.
Yeah.
It's just that personally, my son is having a difficult time with
Right.
math, and
Right.
even in the symposium, because we're thinking that he's getting help, and I tell him, okay, what did you learn today? He says, well, the teacher didn't have enough time because there's quite a few students there. So, although the idea is great,
Right.
it's just that he's struggling with math, and he's the type that he gets frustrated, and I know this isn't just about him, but,
Right.
but it does happen to other students.
Right.
Where,
Okay, well, I would like to discuss that with you at another time because I know exactly what you're talking about because I am that intervention teacher. But I mean, the best that how I can address that is, every teacher has between 20 and 30 students. I currently have 27 students in my symposium. And I think I'm just trying to think how to specifically address your question, is I think the best that we can do is to work individually or at least in small groups with students and trying to determine what areas they're struggling in. And I'll be more than happy to talk with you more about that after. Let's see, written assessments, a retake plan. Well, again, what we're trying to do is if a student isn't achieving something, we want to have a retake so they can show us at a later date that they possibly understand. We want to give feedback to students at current performance. Homework will engage students in learning activities that supports mastery, and that's kind of the purpose of homework, is to practice for the big game. And then below proficients will be required to participate in test retakes instead of being invited to participate. We have a lot of students, or every teacher, most teachers here are allowing students to retake major tests. And then currently what we do is we average the two, but we're going to try and step away from that and have it where the student can retake the test and the higher grade would be the grade. So that's something that we're working on as we speak. We are calling for parents to help. We currently have a site council that meets on the first Wednesday of every month. And in order for us to be in compliance with the state of California, we have to have 4 parents, and we currently have 3. So we would like to invite a parent or 2 parents or 3 parents out there that would like to come to these meetings. If you're interested, please, you can email me. My email address is up there, and we'd love for you to participate. This is a great opportunity for you to have a say in what's going on at the high school, and we receive what are called site council funds that you can be a part of deciding where those funds go. So anybody who's interested, please contact us.
The third one, bilingual parents.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Okay, we also currently have a bilingual ELAC committee, and they are also in need of parents. So if you are interested in the bilingual program here at Bonsall High School, you can reach out to Karina Calderon, and her email is there.
And then the Bonsall Barnyard
I was
Learning Dash,
gonna-
but that's
yeah.
the first time I'm hearing of that.
Okay, I was gonna address that later. I didn't see that was in there.
Okay.
Something that's really exciting that we are developing right now is, in the past, Sullivan Middle School has had what's called a Barnyard Bash, usually in the spring, and it is an event, an adult event, that raises funds that the school can decide and determine where they would like those funds to go. In the past, the middle school has purchased Chromebooks for students, and this year we are collaborating with Sullivan Middle School, so it'll be the high school and the middle school, and we are going to have a Blarney Barnyard Bash. And what we will be doing in that will be at Rawhide Ranch on March 17th at between 5 and 9. We are currently in the process of determining ticket prices, and we are going to be meeting with BEF next Friday, and over the holidays you should start receiving information about that through BEF, and we would love for everyone to come, and there will be more information as that goes, as the information comes out. Lastly, we'd like to thank everybody, all parents that participated in providing food for all of the teachers. That was awesome. As teachers, many of us don't even bring lunch sometimes, so it was a real special treat. We wanted to just say thank you so much. And we wish all students and families and parents the best happy holidays. Thank you.